Hi folks, it's Evo here from Thundermist Lure Company. And you know, when it comes to fishing rods, there's so many different makes and models and styles out there. But you know, there are a few basic things you should keep in mind when selecting a fishing rod. Okay folks, there's a few things we should keep in mind when you're selecting a fishing rod. First of all, two basic choices are either graphite rods or fiberglass rods. And you're going to want to use a graphite rod when you're after more sensitivity. Graphite rods are stiffer and a lot more sensitive than a fiberglass rod. So if you're using live bait or if you're working jigs, anything subtle where you need to detect a hit, graphite rods are your better bet. If you're using a crankbait and that sensitivity isn't necessarily required, fiberglass rods suit the bill much better. And as a matter of fact, they're better also for setting the hook because they give a little more. And having said that, if you're running off downriggers, you definitely don't want graphite rods on a downrigger because they're not made to stay bent in one position for a long duration of time. Whereas a fiberglass rod will take that bend and stay bent, is meant to stay bent much longer without any problems. Now, rods come either one piece, two piece, or multi-piece. Basically though, the most common are one piece and two piece. If you have the opportunity, one-piece rod is the way you want to go. A one-piece rod is much stronger, much more sensitive, much more durable. Two-piece rod, you lose some of that strength and sensitivity, but what you pick up is you pick up a little bit of convenience, especially if you're taking your rod down or have to put it in the back seat of a car, or if you're walking through woods or that sort of thing. So keep that in mind, but if you can get away with one piece is the way to go. Next thing to consider, fishing rods, you hear people talking about it's got a fast tip or it's got a slow tip. Well, what they mean is that a fast tip just simply means that the rod is tipping or bending here at the tip, whereas a slow tip means the rod is bending from the tip of the rod to the base of the rod, so it has a longer bend. Fast tip has a shorter bend just at the end of the rod. And you're going to want a fast tip when you're fishing with live bait, or like I say, when you're jigging, and you're going to want a slow tip rod when you're using crankbaits. Another thing to keep in mind when it comes to fishing rods is the rod action, and this is very important. They'll be labeled as to whether they're a medium action rod, a light action rod, medium heavy, or heavy. And if you have to make one choice, if you only had one choice, stick with a medium action rod. Medium will be able to cover both spectrums for smaller fish and bigger fish. But if you get a light action rod, it really should only be used for panfish. With light action rods, they lack backbone for hook setting. So when you're fishing for panfish, it's not a problem. But if you take a light action rod and you're going to go for some larger fish, like bass, let's say for example, or a saltwater fishing sea bass or striped bass, you definitely don't want a light action rod because you're going to want something with some backbone to set the hook. So medium to medium heavy usually gives you the backbone required for hook setting purposes. So there's a few tips, folks, on fishing rods, and we certainly hope that next time you're out shopping that these tips have helped you make the right selection. Until next time, good luck and good fishing. Last thing, folks, don't forget to subscribe to our videos by clicking on the button most likely found right over here, as we have a lot more fish catching action coming your way. And if you haven't yet, be sure to check out our website at thundermistfishingtips.com, as we have a lot more articles there and fish catching advice for you. So until next time, good luck and good fishing.